mga stocks. So talagang it's a really critical component na dapat ay hindi natin kinalilimutan. And then verify point of sale system. So ano ba yung point of sale? So ito yung sistema na ginagamit to conduct the transaction. So sa atin, alam naman natin na ito yung BMS. So kailangan ay in the morning, alam na natin na kung may issue man or wala para ma-report agad natin. Para hindi tayo magkakagulatan once nakapila na sa invoicing clerk yung ating mga dealer, no, doon lang natin malalaman na may issue pala or down pala si BMS. So, general system check. Inventory management. So, ayan, I already talked a lot about implementing first in, first out, especially for perishable goods. So, tayo, meron din naman tayong food category, no, under healthcare. So, yung ating mga new products, no, yung green barley, yung ating mangosteen. So, yon mga perishable goods yon. So talagang dapat mas extra stringent po yung pag-conduct natin ng first in, first out pag ma-monitor natin ng mga expiry ng mga products na yon. And then monitor stock levels to avoid overstocking, understocking. And then conduct regular audits to minimize shrinkage and losses. So again, currently meron tayong 3 types of store audits, no, covering yung inventory management natin. So una, meron tayong tinatawag na daily cycle count. So, daily siya. So, ito yung pinaka-frequent na ginagawa natin. It covers select SKUs. If I'm not mistaken, nasa 10 po yung mga SKUs na sasubject sa daily cycle count natin. So, napaka-critical na activity na yun kasi yung daily cycle count gives us an indicative measure kung gaano karami ba yung inventory variance natin, no, to start the day covering those SKUs. So, isa yun sa mga ginagawa natin. Pangalawa, we do a wall-to-wall count na internal to us. So, it can be done with your operations cluster head or it can be done by your operations staff. So, ang ginagawa naman sa wall-to-wall count is ito yung detailed na count, no? So, hindi lang siya basta yung supermarket gondola but even yung stock room. Talagang dapat yun ay binibilang at ina-account natin at ina-reconcile. And then, pangatlo naman, yung ating official audit. So ito yung in partnership with our audit team, no, handled by Ben Evangelista. So meron siyang mga auditors going around the country. So nakaschedule na, meron silang mga surprise visit na ginagawa sa mga branches natin para i-audit yung mga proseso and more importantly, to do the wall-to-wall count para matrack natin yung shortages and overages. So that's part of inventory management. Customer service, or in other terms, customer experience. So maintain a friendly and helpful attitude among staff. So again, hindi lang naman inventory management pinag-usapan natin dito, but also store operations. And in a store, it's covered by yung space, so yung ating facilities, yung process, so how do we execute yung mga proseso natin, and people. So kumbaga sa isang store operations, merong 3 pillar, yung space or yung place, yung proseso, at saka yung people, yung tao na nagmaman ng store. So napaka-importante rin na dapat ay natuturuan natin sila, na-ensure natin na kapag bigay sila ng magandang customer service through a friendly and helpful attitude. And then, providing clear signage for product locations. So ito more on the store layout and also yung mga labeling natin. Nakakatulong din siya, especially ang karamihan pa rin man na nagbibisita sa branches natin ay mga Great Life Builder. Great Life Builder pa rin yung pinakamalaking sources of sales natin kasi talagang bultuhan sila. So, mga Great Life Builder, bago pa lang sila sa business natin. So, nakakatulong kapag pagpasok nila, part of their customer journey, klaro agad kung saan natin sila gustong dalhin, ano yung flow of shopping na gusto nating ma-experience nila. At ang malaking driver niyan ay yung mga signages. And then, ensure quick response to customer inquiries and complaints. So yun, sana hindi left hanging yung ating mga dealers. Kaya napaka-importante na equip din ang ating mga staff in terms of our policies, in terms of product knowledge. Diba yung mga kinakascade ng marketing sa atin, dapat ay nakakascade din natin ng maayos sa ating mga staff. And then, hygiene and safety. So this is more related to our overall branch upkeep. So keep floors dry and aisles clear to prevent accidents. So again, jurisdiction natin itong mga branches. So anything that happens here, tayo talaga accountable. So that's why we need to really ensure na merong safety measures employed in our branches. regularly sanitize high-touch area. So ito yung mga talagang laging may interaction si customer physically. So yung mga carts, baskets, yung invoicing counters where they place their products, etc. And then ensure proper handling. Ito hindi naman to applicable sa atin. For now, no, but maybe in the future. Ay, sorry. Ayan. So let's proceed now sa product display rules. So ito naman yung ating snapshot of what we will cover for this section. So shelf arrangement and merchandising, category organization, promotions and seasonal displays, and cleanliness presentation. So under shelf arrangement and merchandising, so ayan, best-selling and high-margin products should be at eye level. So papasok na tayo dun sa konsepto ng ergonomics and trade marketing, no? So medyo mga big words, but basically parang pag-a-analyze mo yung statement, in a way, parang ano rin siya, no? May hinuha siya or manggagaling siya sa common sense na kumbaga tayo as a person, no, as a shopper, talagang gamit na gamit natin yung sense of sight natin. At talagang for us, ang una nating mapapansin is yung directly nasa eye level natin. And na-apply natin siya in many things, di ba? Sa panonood ng TV, whenever we install our television, gusto natin na eye level siya, hindi masyadong mataas, hindi masyadong mababa. Pag kumakain tayo, di ba, yung table natin, in-ensure natin yung proper height, no? Para hindi ganun ka-uncomfortable yung pag-place natin ng arms natin. So that's talking about ergonomics. Dito naman, in terms of trade marketing, talagang gusto natin na yung mga high margin products, meaning yung mas mataas yung pwedeng profit natin based on the customer price. At saka yung mga talagang best-selling products natin ay madaling makita ng ating mga dealer. Kumbaga mas mauudyok sila na bumili at di na nila kailangan hanapin pa kung ano ba itong mga best-selling products. Sorry, umaatras tayo. Tapos, next naman, mga kid-friendly items, although ito hindi naman applicable, should be at lower levels. Or ito yung mga pwedeng products na secondary lang na gusto nyong i-promote. Maaaring ito yung mga products na walang ongoing promotion for that day, na hindi nyo muna kailangan i-drive. Or ito yung mga sobrang taas naman na ng mga dealer penetration rate, yung binanggit kahapon ni Julie, DPR, at hindi nyo kailangan i-drive. Pwedeng dun sila sa mga lower level. At ang magti-take up muna nung eye level, yung mga gusto nyong i-drive at pataasin yung dealer penetration rate. And then use clear price tags and promotional signage. So again, nabanggit din to kanina, but ito naman pertaining to our products. So kailangan clear at hindi rin siya subject to misinterpretation, di ba? Kasi nakadagdag din yun sa poor customer experience ng ating mga dealers. And then category organization. So ayan, so kailangan naka-organize ng maayos yung mga categories natin. So ito, it just talked about fresh produce, frozen goods, etc. Pero sa atin naman, ang counterpart niyan, di ba, meron tayong home care, meron tayong personal care, meron tayong baby care, meron tayong health care, and meron pa tayong mga food keepers, etc. So yun, dapat maayos din at napag-isipan yung pag-organize ng mga products na yun. So, meron naman tayong trade marketing team. Actually, nagsalita kahapon yung AVP nila, si Cree, yung nagsalita about the trial kit. So, every month, nagkakascade po sila ng merchandising, no? At saka yung ideal na stacking ng ating mga stock sa gondola. So, kinakascade po ito sa ating mga branches. So, it's really upon us na ma-ensure na ine-execute yun kasi meron na talaga mga studies na kinover for that. So that's for category organization. Dito naman sa promotions and seasonal displays. So yan, use end caps for promotional or seasonal products. So tayo, more on dito tayo sa promotional eh. Diba? Every day, merong sinisend tayo ng mga highlighted products, no? Highlighted promos from our brochure na pwede natin ibenta sa mga dealers natin. So kailangan mas i-highlight din natin yon physically doon sa ating stores. Tapos, uso rin sa PC ito, mga bundling, no, ng mga products na nabanggit nga ni Julie kahapon. Pinaghahalo natin in a bundle yung mga high DPR at saka mga low DPR products para yung mga slow-moving na items natin ay naibibenta rin natin. So, kailangan ma-highlight din natin yung kasi nagde-drive din yun ng higher basket size sa ating mga dealers. Tapos dapat napaka-visible ng mga signage. Actually, meron din kasing psychological study yan na kapag nakakita ang customer ng mga bundled products, parang mas nagsispark siya ng curiosity at saka excitement to try. Kasi nakabundle siya na parang madami tapos all-in-one package. Nakaka-drive siya talaga ng intent to purchase. So we wanna leverage on that. We wanna highlight that through proper visible signage. And then rotate promotional items weekly to maintain customer interest. So ito, actually, nanda-drive naman yan ng ating campaigns team, yung team nila Julie. So every day nga, nag-iiba yung mga promotional items natin. Every week, di ba? Yung mga booster na nila-launch natin ay nag-iiba-iba din naman ng mga products. So that's actually in support of this discipline under product display rules. And then finally, cleanliness and presentation. So remove damaged packaging or expired products immediately. So kaya talaga napaka-importante na na-inspect natin ng maayos yung mga branches natin kasi baka mamaya may nakalusot na expired products or even damaged packaging. So that should be part of our daily routine to check our stocks. Tapos, keep aisles clear and displays neatly arranged. So related din naman to dun sa nabanggit na information in the earlier slide. And then ensure uniform facing, so labels forward for easy readability. So ayun, dapat may consistency tayo sa pagsastock ng mga gamit natin, mga produkto natin sa mga gondola, sa mga shelves, at even yung mga labels ay dapat consistent din yung pagkaka-display natin. So let's go now to inventory management. Inbound operation. So, sa inventory management kasi, mabi-breakdown natin siya sa inbound, so lahat ng mga papasok na stocks, and then yung order fulfillment na nangyayari sa branch, and then later on, yung ating reconciliation and stock keeping. So, sa inbound operation, napaka-importante nito. Inbound operations in stores involve the efficient receiving, checking, and stocking of goods to ensure smooth inventory flow and optimal shelf availability. So below are the key steps. So again, it covers receiving, tapos na-check nyo ba yung nare-receive nyo, and then nasa-stock nyo ba siya ng maayos, such that later on, madali nyo may implement yung FIFO, yung first in, first out. So una, pre-receiving and preparation. So dapat meron daw scheduling and coordination, which is nangyayari naman yan, di ba? Our supply chain team, headed by Nessa Aspera, na-inform naman niya yung mga branches natin ahead of time kung kailan sila magde-deliver ng stocks. So kailangan tayo na coordinate natin kung ensure pa natin na may full manning complement tayo on that day to receive the stocks, para ma-ensure na hindi siya mapapabayaan at talagang madi-detailed count siya. So later we'll go to that. And then document verification. So may tinatawag tayo na stock transfer report. So that's in the system, and also meron din siyang actual document na hawak ng mga truckers natin. Na during the receiving process, ito, dapat talaga, I wanna highlight this, na kukonduct natin yung physical inspection ng mga stocks na nire-receive natin. So by physical inspection, hindi lang to dapat yung high level na isa-scan lang natin yung boxes na na-receive, tapos, sige, i-estimate ko na kung ano yung nakasulat sa papel, yan yung pipirmahan ko, na-receive ko as good. At yan din yung tatanggapin ko sa sistema. So, maaari kasi na may temptation tayo or ang staff natin to do that dahil, syempre, busy sila, nag-a-attend sila sa mga dealers na nakapila, tapos ang daming dineliver na stock, so wala na akong oras para bilangin lahat yan. Mamaya naman, mag-audit din naman ako . So, baka may ganong mindset. Pero if we really wanna solve yung problems on inventory management, on inventory accuracy, on inventory variance, it all starts with quality dito sa first step, which is inbound. Kasi nga, di ba, meron ding saying na garbage in, garbage out. So kung sa simula pa lang ng proseso ay hindi na natin ginawa ng maayos yung nararapat, talagang maapektuhan na yung mga succeeding activities and steps natin. So, receiving process, we really need to ensure na we do physical inspection of every box, of the contents inside the box, Kung hindi man, we ensure that we weigh the products, no, para umakma siya dun sa dapat na weight ng ating mga products. So, and then, ideally, we're able to scan the barcodes, no, ng mga products at ma-enter natin siya sa system. Although currently, hindi pa siya na-map out sa PC process, but I just wanna mention to you guys na inaaral na rin namin itong process activity na to. So, we actually have IEs now, industrial engineers, studying the whole inbound stock transfer receiving process. Kung paano natin ma-ensure na ma-conduct efficiently yung physical inspection, ma-ensure na ma-comply ito ng mga branches through barcode scanning and system entry. So, before I continue, so actually, we are already graced by the presence of our external speaker. So I would like to take this moment to introduce her to you para mas lalo pang ma-enrich yung rest of the slides, no, through her expertise. So, sige. Ang external speaker natin is an industrial engineer and isa siyang certified professional in supply management. So, napaka-extensive po ng background niya sa retail industry. So, nag-distribution and warehousing siya sa Philip Morris International, so yung sikat na cigarettes company. Tapos, nag-senior vice president siya for transport and third-party logistics under Lazada. So, we all know Lazada. Siya rin ang COO and co-founder ng Snapmart Inc. So, if you're not familiar, under ng Snapmart Inc. yung Landers grocery. And then, siya at one point was the general manager of All Easy Inc. And most recently, the Chief Operating Officer of All Home Corporation. So right now, she's a network member of a consulting firm called GLG. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you our external speaker for today, si Manette Domingo.
My forever sa EDSA. Oh my God, hindi ko na-expect. Pasensya na.
No worries.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. So, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Pasensya na hindi ko ina-expect na grabe ang forever sa EDSA. I left my house at about 7:30 to 8 and 3 hours. Sabi ko, sana nagpunta na lang uli ako sa Davao. Diba? Kung sumakay ako ng aeroplano, baka mas nauna pa ako. But anyways, thank you team for taking charge dun sa slides ko. Although, I really miss this opportunity to discuss with you yung initial slides. But I'll just proceed doon sa naumpisahan na ni Tim. Thank you again. Thank you very much. And I apologize. Babawi na lang po ako sa inyo. Sasagutin ko po ang inyong mga katanungan. Okay? So as mentioned by Tim, my name is Marianita Domingo. Pero masyado po siyang mahaba. Ewan ko sa aking nanay at tatay ba't napakahaba na ibinigay ng pangalan. But you may call me Manette. Most of the people, ang tawag po sa akin, nakasanayan ng mga kasama ko sa trabaho, they call me Madam Peanut. Saan po nanggaling yung peanut? Correct. So pag nakikita kami, nandiyan na si Madam Peanut. Madam na Madam daw ang aking dating. Anyways, kunyari lang po yun. I'm a very jolly person. Ang dami kong energy. Although kanina talaga na-stress ako ng bongga sa sobrang traffic. Pagpatawad ninyo. Anyways, ang na-discuss mo na team is until here. So we are already discussing the pre-receiving preparation. Okay. Before anything else, gusto ko magtanong sa inyo. This is gonna be an interactive session. Ayoko ng session na ako lang nagsasalita. Gusto ko po lahat tayo nagsasalita. Sa inyo pong operation, ano po normally ang nagiging problema ninyo kapag nagre-receive kayo ng goods? Ng inyong mga items? Kulang. Okay. Paano nyo po kinakount? Binubuksan. Okay. Sino po kaya ang may problema? Yung nagpapak sa warehouse, sa DC? Yung delivery truck. Bakit hindi po ba nakasealed yung truck? Ay, ang dami ng problema. Sige po. Welcome po mga questions. Okay. So on top of the piece count, you also do the weighing. Okay, that's the right process po. Okay, so yun yung sinasabi dito. During the pre-receiving inspection, one of the things that I would like to highlight is scheduling and coordination. Siyempre, dapat yung nagdi-deliver at saka kayo, may agreement kayo ng oras. This is something na pinag-aagrihan nyo ba on a specific day? Anong oras darating? Okay, alright. Sige po, makikinig lang po tayo because this is open for discussion so that the people who is involved in, sa depot can hear what are your problems also, okay? Because I know all of you are very good in sales. But I know some of you would need help in terms of the warehouse operation, in terms of inventory management, okay? So how do you do the document verification and pre-receiving preparation? What I normally do sa aking mga warehouse, when we do receiving, bawal may laman yung areas. Okay? Kasi what normally happens is, meron ako isang box dito. Okay? Kahapon pa yan, hindi nare-receive ng tao ko. Darating yung panibagong truck. Okay? Eto na naman, tatambak na naman. So, pag nagre-receive, hindi mo na maintindihan which is which. And then it will, I don't know sa operation ninyo, how many boxes arrives in one delivery at an average. Correct. So if it's 200 boxes and there's something left the previous day, ano mangyayari? Magkakagulo. Magkakagulo. So one of the things that I want to highlight sa inyo, when you do receiving, make sure na empty yung, ang tawag ko doon is, parang meron akong area na pre-receiving dock or pre-receiving area. Dapat empty po yun before dumating yung bagong delivery. So say for example, you have an agreement of delivery at 9 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, make sure na empty yung area. Huwag niyo pong pabayaan na naghalo-halo doon. Kasi it will be very difficult for you. Halimbawa, dumating tong delivery na to kahapon. Tatagan ko pa ba to? Bukas ko na ito bibilangin. Lalagyan mo pa ng truck. Dumating yung bagong delivery. Nag-file up na. So what's gonna happen? Pag bukas mo after 5 days, I don't know, I'm just assuming, immediately ba binubuksan ninyo yung box? Some of the people, yes. Some of you, the answer is no. Which is normal. It's because ang unang dumating, 200 bucks. Mamaya, darating ulit 200 bucks. Pero mabubuksan nyo yun after 1, 2 days, 3 days, which is a normal problem in any of the operation. In one of my previous life, I call it, pag nag-audit ako sa warehouse, pagpasok ko, kailan pa itong ni-receive na to? It's like 2 weeks ago, nandyan pa yan. So, ano mangyayari pag 2 weeks ago nandyan? Pag open mo, kulang pala. But, the agreement, normally with the service provider, within 24 hours, dapat magre-reklamo ako kung kulang. Tama, mali? Okay, pero, if you open it a week later, sinong talo? Correct. So, that's very important when you do a inbounding. You have to make sure, kasi kung buong box naman yan, more or less alam nyo naman, di ba, kung ilang kilo. So the fastest thing to do, i-weigh nyo agad yung isang box. Tsaka nyo ngayon buksan. And then I believe you have a policy naman for the sealed boxes, di ba? Before nyo i-open, siguro the fastest way for you to do is i-weigh nyo na lang. Kasi mas mabilis yung nagwe-weigh tayo. This way, kung halimbawa, ang box is approximately 5 kilos. Sample lang yun. Approximately 30 kilos. Pag nakita nyo na it's less than 30 kilos, you can open it immediately. Pero you don't have to do opening ng immediately and then tsaka nyo bibilangin. It will take time. The fastest way for you to check kung may kulang is to weigh it. And I believe nagwe-weigh kayo. So yun na yung pinakamabilis. But be careful also in weighing because I'm gonna share a story sa inyo. I'm not gonna mention an e-commerce company, but since minention ni Tim kanina, alam niyo na ako ng e-commerce company yan. So my problem before, eto, matutuwa kayo kasi maraming nawawalang cellphone sa e-commerce. So we also implemented weighing. Okay? Wini-weigh din namin. At napaka-automatic ng aming system. High-tech. So, we determine what is the weight of a cell phone. Say, for example, a cell phone weighs 3 kilos. Dumaan siya sa conveyor, 3 kilos. Ang galing. At meron siyang standard packaging na pinagamit na rin kami. Lusot. Pagbukas sa customer, alam niyo kung anong laman. Ano? Buhangin. Kasi makikita sa scanner ang bato. Kasi uneven yung shape, correct? So, sa sobrang talino ng mga katrabaho dati, pagdaan sa scanner, solid. Kasi buhangin ang laman. Oo, kasi that's how, that's how creative people are. So yun lang, sharing lang yun. I'm sure hindi naman siguro nangyayari sa inyo. But those are realities ng pag nagre-receive ka. So maraming something pagdating sa receiving. So you just need to be careful. Hindi sagot lahat ng automation minsan sa lahat ng problema ninyo. It's more of being careful also. So one of the things, again, remember, i-weigh nyo muna. And then kapag kakulang sa timbang, tsaka nyo i-open. This way, mabilisan. Kasi kung halimbawa 200 boxes yan, timbangin nyo isa-isa. It's faster than opening the boxes individually. And then kung merong kaduda-duda na hindi tama yung weight, that's the time you open it up. This way, matatrack nyo uli out of 200 boxes. Halimbawa, may isang box doon na may kulang na isa. Madali nyo siyang matitrace. Okay? I'm just learning through yung discussion sa inyo. I'm just giving you tips just in case you encounter that problem. Okay? So yan, again, nandyan yung physical inspection, barcode scanning, FIFO storage guidelines. That's number 3. Okay? May expiration ng product ninyo? Okay. So, do you have a system that monitors FIFO? Meron na ba? Wala pa. Paano nyo minomonitor ang FIFO? Physically. Okay. So, say for example, your store is different from your warehouse, tama? Okay, paano nyo siya ina-identify kung ano yung malapit na mag-expire sa hindi pa malapit mag-expire? I will just give you a tip based on your answer, ha? Baka kasi meron na kayong process, but if not, I will try to give you a tip on how to manage FIFO. Arrangement, okay. So, saan ang malapit na mag-expire? Paano kung yung huling deliver? Iba rin na expiration date. Okay? Valid ba? So, say for example, dineliver ngayon, ang date na expiration, sample lang to, baka hindi naman totoo. I'm not so sure. Halimbawa, ang date is expiration, birthday ko, October 11, 2025. Dineliver ngayon. Bukas ang dineliver, expiration, August 10, 2025. Paano yun? Okay. With that answer, I'll give you a tip on how you can do that because this is based on my experience. This would entail a little bit of konting halaga lang naman, pero it would help you manage your FIFO. How? Buy a sticker. May mga colored sticker tayo, correct? So for every color of the sticker, siguro naman yung 12 months will have 12 sticker colors. So, lagyan nyo ng sticker at the tao, whatever. Basta hindi, kasi kung sa product nyo, hindi mo pwede expose siguro, di ba? So, put a sticker. So, halimbawa, ngayon is March. Ang color ng sticker nyo, dahil marami ako nakikita naka-brown o gray, whatever, color it brown. Ang April, color it red. Di ba? It's the simple way of managing your FIFO. Hindi mo kailangan laging, yung tao nyo, magkabali-baliktad man ang pag-arrange niya, maglagay ka ng guidelines, isang ganitong papel, nakalagay doon yung guidelines, kulay pula, ang expiration niyan is every September. So, alam ng mga tao ninyo, September, mag-e-expire na ito, lagay ko ito sa harap. Okay ba? Okay ba yung tip natin? Yes. Alright, so that's, may bayad ang tip, joke. Yan ang tip ko sa inyo dahil late ako, alright? So, resolution, reconciliation, and reporting. Papaano nyo nire-report ang discrepancy sa receiving? May reporting pa tayo? Okay. Do you report it immediately? Alright. Because this is something that I want to highlight also. This is common mistake in warehouse management, okay? In inventory management. May discrepancy. Ano nangyari? Yung tao nyo lang ang nakakaalam ng discrepancy. Nadapa po siya. Hindi siya nakapasok. Isang buwan siya nag-leave, nanganak siya, whatever. Hindi nyo alam, meron palang receiving discrepancy. Kailan nyo malalaman? and month-end kapag nagkakaroon na ng reconciliation sa inventory. So it's very important to reconcile or yung mga discrepancies sa receiving. You have to report it immediately. Okay? Saan kaya yung aking... Yun, thank you. Alright. So let's now go to outbound and POS transaction. Thank you. Yes po, go ahead.
Hello. Siguro question to everybody. Do we have a policy, a company policy na nagsasabi like yung mga deliveries to branches should be ang expiration niya like hindi dapat less than 1 year?
On a specific policy pertaining to that, we don't have yet. Pero we'll coordinate that with supply chain. No? Pero supposedly, dapat lahat naman ng mga products natin ay yung pinakamalayong expiry pa yung na-deliver. So, but there might be, kung merong man na-deliver na product na less than 1 year expiry, trust that that was still part of the FIFO naman na ginawa ng ating mga depots. So talagang yun na yung mga last batch of products na available sa kanilang warehouses. Pero kung delivered na expired na yun, dapat po talaga ma-raise natin yun dun sa ating stock transfer receiving report.
Dapat yun ma-resolve within. Yung resolution natin is may standard na on how long it should be resolved. Is there an agreed standard already?
Similar to what you shared, dapat 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah. I'm a bit strict when it comes to reconciliation kasi it's supply chain. I need to reconcile within 24 hours. Hindi dapat talaga pinapatulog yung problema. Because at the end of the day, sobrang syempre you are all sales focused, I understand. I handle sales also. Lalo na pag month-end, pukpukan tayo sa benta, diba? Tapos nawawalan ka na pala ng inventory, so it's going to be difficult. Any more question? Sis po.
Marami sa produkto ng personal collection, yung mga products natin. Marami po sa product ng personal collection ay nakalagay manufacturing date lang. So walang expiration date.
But I guess you have a rule. When it comes to manufacturing date, equals...
Walang specific na sinasabi. So medyo may pag, yun yung mga question namin.
Alright, that's noted. Because, say for example, there's no expiration date placed in the product, I believe there's a standard naman, automatic, plus
yes.
24 months. Okay,
Sige.
noted.
Sige, we'll raise that po. That's something na pwede namin i-cascade. Kung wala mga expiration date, yung standard na shelf life no coming from
There's a
the
standard.
manufacturer.
Meron na meron.
Tama kasi manufacturing date and then the
And expiration date.
Yeah. Noted po yung mga tanong. That's why your support team is here. Alright?
Take note po namin yun for our supply chain team. Supposedly, dapat aware po tayo doon. No? Dapat nabibigay yung information na yun sa inyo. Kasi paano natin mamamanage yung mga bad stocks?
Yes, hindi rin kaya aware yung warehouse natin na yung expiry date na nasa loob ng kahon ay iba dun sa expiry date ng nasa kahon. Kasi it happens also. Iba yung laman, iba expiry ng nasa loob kesa nasa box.
Ibang issue naman po yun. No? So maaaring nagkaroon ng packing issue yun sa supply chain. Kasi supposedly per box talagang same batch yan, no? Same ng information yung mga bottles po na nasa loob nun. So sige po, that's also a concern na pwede nating i-raise dun sa ating stock transfer receiving report para ma-alert din agad yung supply chain on the discrepancy dun sa data po na binigay nila.
Those are part of yung mga list of discrepancies that you need to report immediately. Kasama yan, it's normal. It happens in all the industry that I've been. Hindi siya isolated na problema sa inyo. So the key is communication between you and the warehouse. Okay? So ganun yun, normal yun. Yes, sir.
In Balikan ko lang kasi kanina yung pre-delivery coordination. Kasi usually, doon sa branch namin minsan, nagugulat ako, pati yung dealers area namin, punong-puno na ng mga product. So yung coordination, may marami ng product. Anyway, OTC pa kami, puno ng product doon sa stock room ko. Pero may delivery na. Then may padating pang mga delivery.
I have an answer to that.
Yes, okay.
I have an answer to that because I discussed this with him if there is an auto replenishment, and there is. The reason for that, sir, is because malakas ang benta mo, and they are anticipating that you would need that stock. Kasi on our side as a supply chain practitioner, we also manage the auto replenishment. It means we base it doon sa average sales mo. So say for example, based in calculation, you can carry 14 days worth of inventory. I don't know your calculation, but I'm assuming 14 days, for example, worth of inventory. And yung dumarating sa user, that's good for 14 days plus buffer stock most likely.
But hindi lang nangyari yun isang beses eh.
Malakas ka bumenta, sir, kaya gano'n. I have another answer to that. I have a guess on top of my head, but I'm not so sure whether it's correct. A possibility is because your system shows zero inventory.
Hindi ko masyadong yun. Pero in fairness naman actually, fairness nung...
Ang actual most likely meron.
Fairness naman, yung cluster head ng operations namin, mabilis naman umaksyon.
Ganito yan, sir. Mamaya, I will discuss with you what are the impacts of inaccurate inventory, and that's one of those.
Kasi minsan, ang namin kasi, ang worry ko kasi, pag nababawasan yung area doon.
Opo, mababawasan. Correct. Which is true naman. And that's also one of the reasons why we are trying to help you, because those are the negative impact of inaccurate inventory. That's why medyo masasagot ko agad kung ano naging problema. Number one, mataas ang benta mo, ina-anticipate nila, tatambakan kita ng stock, maubos siya. Number two, problem, nako, ang sistema walang laman. Mataas ang benta mo. Tatambakan kita ng stock, hindi kasi ako, kumbaga ako nasa headquarters. Ang nakikita ko is not the physical stock. I'm seeing the system. If you show me a zero inventory in the system, though physically you have it there, tatambakan kita talaga, sir.
Possibly hindi sa system yun.
Opo, saan po kaya?
Possibly yung system ang may problema.
Posible din po. Opo.
In our part kasi meron tayong daily cycle count.
Opo. Baka po, yun din, kasama natin sa discussion later, daily cycle count needs to be corrected. Kasi na-count mo nga, hindi mo naman binigay yung count, hindi naman ma-adjust
yung problem nga, yung tulad yung sa stocking natin.
Opo.
Dahil yung WC natin, na-overwhelm sa stocks, kahit na paano lang ilalagay niya.
Totoo po yan.
Or para maalis yung area niya.
And that results to damage stocks. And yun po ang that's the reason why they invited me here, because those are the common problem in inventory management that you have to realize the importance of having an accurate inventory. I saw yesterday, I was reviewing sa internet, ang sabi doon, acceptable accuracy ng inventory is 95%. Muntik na ako malaglag sa kinakaupuan ko. Because when I run the inventory management, my inventory accuracy is 99.99%. Yes. Hindi ako, kaya nung nakita ko sa internet, sa ChatGPT pati 95, sino kaya ang author nito? Parang gusto kong pagalitan. Yes, it should be 99.8% at the very least. 95 is a no-no. It's a no-no for me. Okay? Sir, may tanong ka?
Yung size ng warehouse nila
is not fit also. Correct. So it's also correct. The size of the warehouse may not be enough to support your days of inventory. Okay? Any questions from that table? May question pa po kayo dyan? Alright, if wala na po, let's proceed to the next topic, which is the POS best practice. Alright? Keep the system updated. Sir, eksakto to. Kanina, nag-cycle count kayo. Tama yung cycle count. I'm not sure whether the system was adjusted or not. Come again, this is a common problem. Don't get, discouraged. All of the industry has this problem. That's why there is a supply chain addressing the issue. Huwag po kayo magaling sa supply chain. Supply chain is my first love. So, pagtatanggol ko po talaga ang supply chain. It's not a problem of supply chain. It's a problem of communication between sales and supply chain. And that's something that we need to fix. Okay? So, in my previous life, I was the head of supply chain. In my latest life, I'm the COO of sales. So pareho ko silang, pagka nagbabangayan sila, paghaharapin ko lang sila. Kasi pareho silang malapit sa puso ko. Kasi naintindihan ko ang drive ng sales, naintindihan ko where the supply chain is coming from. The key, communication. Okay? So train staff for accuracy. What is the common mistake for accuracy kahit sa POS? Who can guess? May pang-giveaways ba ako dyan, team? Alright. Sino ang makakahula? What is the biggest mistake when it comes to accuracy? I'm looking for one word. Or, hindi pala one word. 3. Ano ang common mistake? This is a common mistake in inventory. Anong pagkakamali? Saan nagkakamali? Yes, meron daw silang giveaways. Sabihin talaga ako ng giveaways. Wrong encoding. Hindi po. Although that's also a problem. Pero ito, kahit sa industry ako magpunta, this is a common mistake. That's another problem. But it's not a very common. Common din siya, pero ito, grabe. Pag isang nagkakamali ka lang dito, ang laki ng impact nito. No, it's not one word pala. 3 words that start with you. Wala. It starts with you. It starts with you. Alright, sige. Mamaya na lang yung giveaways. What is the common mistake when it comes to POS management, inventory management? The unit of measurement. Anong pagkakamali sa unit of measurement? Piece versus dozen versus box versus set. Common problem yan. And it creates big issue. Naiintindihan niyo ako sa nagagaling issue? Kinilagay, bumili, 1 piece. Ang binili pala 1 dozen, just ko Lord. So nawalan ka agad ng 11 pieces. And it is a very, very big problem in all the industries that I worked with. Sa previous yung pinaka-recent work ko, nag-iimbentaryo ng upuan, yung mga sofa, kasi that's what we are selling. Familiar kayo sa All Home? Alright, maganda ba All Home? Dapat maganda. Anyways, so anong problema? Nagka-count. Ang isang sofa binili, 3 piraso, isang sofa. Okay? Nung pinili, ang unit of measurement, set. Pumunta sa warehouse, pinasok sa inventaryo, inilagay 3 pieces. So, nanganak na yung inventaryo ko. Correct. So, yung sofa set ko, 3 sofa set na siya. Ang inventaryo ko, from halimbawa 40,000, naging 120,000 na. Hindi na ako makabenta kasi sa system ko, I have 2. But in reality, wala na ako. Kasi nabenta na. Nabenta na. So it's a common mistake kahit sa automotive industry where I came from also, it's the same mistake. Lahat ng industry, walang excuse. That's the mistake that we have, the unit of measurement. Okay? Kala ng iba, parang baliwala lang the importance of unit of measurement. It's the main problem when you have inventory inaccuracy. Okay? Question? Alright, if no question, again, monitor and prevent fraud. Yung POS nyo, very yan, dapat ino-audit yan parati. Baka dyan, meron kami experience, very recent. Puro experience ko yung kinukwento ko sa inyo para yung mga aware kayo. Okay? Walang ini-scan, nakakapagbenta. Very good, diba? Nag-create na lang ng sariling SKU. Nag-create na ng sariling barcode. ini-scan. Alam mo ginawa namin noon, nagpa-install kami ng camera. And that camera is being managed by AI. So kapag nag-i-scan na walang lumalabas, nag-a-alert sa akin yung ganang transaction, nahuhuli yung mga fraudulent transaction. Masyadong creative ang mga tao. Okay? So maintain POS hardware. It's not your job, it's the job of the IT, but you have to report immediately kung may problema. Okay? Yes, sir.
At sa tingin kaya, yung sinasabi ni ma'am na yun, measurement by set, for one set.
Ako.
It so happen, kasi dito sa PC, meron tayong 3+1, 4+1, 6+1. So common mistakes.
That's a common mistake po, okay?
So, pwede kaya tama yung sinasabi nyo from inventory, sa stocks, to merchandise, sa mga marketing, na magkaroon tayo ng hanggat maaari is iisa ba or...
Normally po, this is based on what I do during campaign. It's normal to have bundling, okay? So nagbabundling tayo from 3 SKU into 1 single SKU. Team, you're using SAP, right?
We have our own.
You have your own system that
system.
can do bundling, okay?
Yes.
All right. So the bundling is being done by the dealers sa branch na, or it arrives as a bundle.
It arrives as a bundle.
Alright.
Yung bundled promos natin, naka-set up na siya sa system.
Okay.
Pero yung pagbabundle ng items, some of the items bundled
Hindi naka-bundle, diba? Some of the items sa store o sa branch. Okay. So this is what I do. Kapag ka may bundling that does not come from the DC itself, nagpapatawag ako ng meeting, merchandising team ko calls for a meeting, and what they do is kinakascade one-on-one, say for example, per cluster, 10 branch per cluster, kinakascade ito yung mga nakabundle. And this is the SKU for that bundle. I-bundle nyo, and then i-report nyo sa amin ilang bundle ito, and then set it up in the system. Again, the key is to communicate. Dapat may cascade from the merchandising pababa sa inyo. And then merchandising, kung the DC naman DC, kasi kung sa DC galing, walang problema eh. Dahil pagdating sa inyo, naka-SKU ng bundle. Pero kung kayo magbabundle, it's important it's properly communicated from the merchandising team pababa. So pag ganon, ang strategy sa akin, I ask my merchandising team to call for a meeting. And then binababa nila yung bundling. So that's something that maybe you can discuss. And then pag na-bundle na, they report back. My inventory was bundled out of, say for example, 5 different SKU na tagwa 100, I was able to do 5 100 bundles. Inire-report back yon sa merchandising team. Kasi supposedly, kung inabot ang bundling sa store ninyo, bundling also is part of your task na. Okay?
Yeah, further to that, I wanted to highlight yung binanggit ka ni Ms. Manet, on communication. So, kailangan ma-ensure talaga natin na naintindihan ng staff na hindi lang natin papakita na ito yung promo for the day, gets nyo ba, etc. So, or isi-send lang natin, let's say, sa GC. So, agree ako doon, napaka-basic nung advice, pero I think napaka-impactful niya kasi lalo na usual source of variance nga to in POS processing, yung maling execution ng mga bundling or yung unit of measure nga. So, kailangan ma-ensure natin na iintindihan talaga nila. And yun, yung mga simple hurdles na pwede natin gawin is, pwede natin talunan is yung through communication. Very basic but proper and detailed communication sa staff.
Also, visualization po is very important. Visual.
May dadagdag ko rin sa system kasi, sa IT, Kasi under system kasi, di ba halimbawa mayroon tayong promo for poster for the day. That is 3+1. Mayroon tayong monthly promos that is 4+1. So naka-intact siya for the day doon sa computer. So pagka napindot ng staff is 4+1, but mayroon tayong 3+1, pwede bang, halimbawa, booster for the day, ma-i-stop muna yung 4+1 for the whole month. Para hindi dalawa yung option at yung kasi minsan
Like solution yan, sir, very good. That's something that they can look into. Because
the lowest offer na lang yun.
Yung pang-patch out sa...
I guess in some of the cases, in medyo advanced na technology na, merong what you call phase in and phase out. Hindi pwedeng magsabay. So pag itong promo na to, 3+1 is active, the 4+1 cannot be activated. And vice versa. Para hindi nagkakamali. But again, I'll go back. If the system is not ready, I will go back doon sa train staff for accuracy. And training the staff is not simple. It has to be very visual. And I believe may mga materials naman na pinoprovide from the marketing, you need to post it in an areas where your staff can see it. And then, kanina, nag-discuss, I'm sure, si team for the store opening. It's part of the checklist. I did not include in my, I apologize, I did not include in my presentation, but I have a checklist that I asked the store managers that I have, or the cluster head, to prepare. Para every day, this is our promo, my huddle. In the morning, lahat ng staff naka-huddle, sinasabi, this is my promotion for the day. Pinapaulit yon. It's important that the people that you train, sinabi mo, may balik sa'yo. Hindi pwedeng sinabi mo lang, sir. Pagkasabi, naintindihan mo ba? Kasi yun ang key. The key is for your people to understand. How do you know they understand? Katulad ng ginagawa ko sa inyo, I ask question. Dapat ganun din. Parang sort of a oral recitation ng estudyante pa tayo.
Balikan ko lang yung sinabi niya. Kasi baka makatulong din.
Sige pa.
Usually kasi,
para maka-relate yung iba.
Usually kasi pag may yung promo, no? So, nagkakaroon ng problema sa releasing kasi yung inventory din. Kasi, sa personal collection, promo na, ipinromo pa, ibinooster pa. Minsan, sa dami ng tao na inire-release, nung nagre-release, yung mindset niya, yung naka-month-long. Kunyari, ang month-long ay buy 6. Biglang sinuper booster ng buy 3, take 1, na ire-release niya yung buy 6, take 1. So, may mga programa o mas maraming programa ang personal collection na promo na, ipinromo pa nung araw na to, siya pa rin yung kalaban mo na promo pa na iisang
relate na relate ako, ma'am. Ganyan po ako magpa-promo. Normal po yan, I tell you. Normal po yan.
Ang nalilito. Ma'am, in one day, yan.
Normal yan, ma'am. Ganito nangyayari dyan. Kukwento ko lang sa inyo, i-justify ko ang aking pagiging COO dati kung bakit ako papalit-palit ng promotion, okay? Pag upo ko sa mesa ko, bakit ganyan lang ang sales natin? Tatawagin ko yung aking marketing at merchandising. Ang pangit siguro ng promo, hindi ko makagat. Palta mo yung promo, ma'am, kailan? Ngayon na, because I want sales. Kailan implementation? Ibaba mo na ngayon. Kinaumagahan pagbalik ko, hindi pa rin kumakagat ng sales na to. Bukas ulit, palta mo yung promo. Ganun po ang aming role. Pagpasensyahan nyo na po, it's normal because we wanted you to hit the target. So, again, the key, cascade. Once na nagbaba, kasi normal po yan, malilito tao natin, once na nagbaba, ang ginagawa ko doon kung hindi available ang store head. Okay? Ayan, nagla-last 15 minutes si ate, excited tayo sa mga tanong. Anyways, it's good that we have a very good discussion. Pero, ma'am, to justify the marketing and the merchandising team, lahat po tayo sa retail, ganyan po. Patong-patungan sale, kasi kailangan natin mahit ang target. Babalik lang ako sa train the staff well. Kayo din po, dapat hindi nalilito.
Computer ng utak namin.
Kaya po, ma'am, sabi ko kanina, very visual dapat tayo. Visual is the key. Dapat yung mga printouts, lalagyan na lang natin, oh ito, superseded by this one, ipatong mo muna. Ito naman ang superseded by this one. Kaya when I do the audit sa store, pag nakita ko itong promo na to, kabisado ko ta. This was last week. Bakit naka-up yan ngayon? Promo to last week eh. So dapat po, as a head, o kayo ang mga may-ari, very diligent kayo sa pag-audit. Last week pa tong promotion na to, bakit naka-up ang flyers nito? Correct. Yun po ang problema kasi pagka nagpalit ng promotion, yung mga tao natin, ay, mamaya ko napapalitan. Kakatamad eh. Nakalimutan na, hindi na pala yun yung promo. Yan po, una ko tinitingnan pag nag-audit ako. Itong promo na to, kitang-kita ko, until kahapon lang to, pero naka-up pa yung flyers. Naka-up pa yung ano niya, yung mga display natin sa store. Okay? Sige po, next na tayo. Record keeping. So, organized sales data, I believe you have your own sales report naman. Sabi ni Tim sa akin, wala namang problema. This is cascaded to you. Store receipts and invoices needs to be kept properly. Monitor inventory closely. Track, unserved, and canceled invoices. Kaya po yan naka-highlight. Balita ko, that's one of your problem. Kasi medyo, meron kayong unserved orders, pero baka naka-report na. Sold na siya. O kaya na-cancel, naka-report, sold na rin. Should not be the case. Kasi magkakagulo. Una, inventory mali. Pangalawa, mali ang sales report ninyo. Okay? Kaya po natin yan, kaya po natin yung in-highlight. So, dapat, yung, ano po yan sakit din sa dati kong work na may order, bulk order yon. So, syempre, binayaran okay? Month-end na, hindi pa pala nakukuha yung stock. Masyadong mabait yung bumili, walang time. Hindi nakuha yung stock. Supposedly, okay, sinaseparate yun. Kung, syempre, ito nga na-cancel the order, bayad na, di ba? Supposedly, sinaseparate ng area yun. Naka-reserve na yun. Pero what happens? Nandun, naka-display din. Pero bayad na. Nilagyan lang ng tag na sila lang ang nagkakaintindihan. Sold na pala to. Nakalagay na naman pangalan ng customer. So what happens? Pumasok sa inyong customer, sa inyo dealer. Pumasok sa inyong customer, gusto ko rin ito. Binili. Ngayon, kukunin na yung dati niya order. Wala po si stock. Hindi ka gulo. Diba? So those are the negative impact of having that track and serve or cancelled orders. Make sure po kapag ganung benta na, pinatago po sa warehouse. Naka-mark as sold. Pero again, common problem, masyado na-excite yung staff ninyo, nandun pa rin, naka-display. May bumiling bago, yung unang bumili, walang stock. Kawawa. Okay? Yes, sir.
Yung isang box ng soft na lang until na hindi pa. Huwag mo patagalin mo.
With regards po lang po sa unserved invoices, sir. No? Ano po ba yung proper natin doon, treatment? Halimbawa, may mga unserved tayo kasi nagsi-CL map tayo, di po ba? So, ang dami nating invoices doon. Then, pagdating ng audit, kasi nakaraan kasi yung ginawa nila sa amin is ibinalik sa system, which is supposedly separate po para pagdating ni dealer, ibibigay mo na lang, di po ba? So, ang ginawa po kasi, ano po ba yung maganda pong gagawin po doon, ma'am?
Based on policy niya, team.
Policy po talaga natin for the heart-to-heart calls na hindi pa natin nasa-survey invoice, 3 days po. So kapag lagpas 3 days na, dapat po talaga ay naka-cancel natin yung mga invoices na yun para bumalik yung inventory sa system and then ibabalik din natin yung physical stocks sa ating gondolas or stock room. So 3 days po talaga dapat. We should strictly follow that.
So ano po, pagka nag-sales call tayo, 3 days hindi nila na-pick up, pwede namin ipa-cancel. Pero yung ibang kasi, depende kasi sa operation siguro yun. Kasi iba, pinipilit nilang ibigay na lang. Dapat meron tayong isang policy na pagka after 3 days hindi mo na-pick up, automatic pwede na i-cancel.
Meron po tayong policy on that, so i-recascade na lang po. Pero actually, dapat sa sistema, maging automatic din yun. At saka meron po tayong dine-develop ngayon na sales order module sa BMS. So, ang mangyayari po dito sa sales order module, makaka-capture natin yung order pero hindi pa siya magpo-proceed sa invoice.
Naka-reserve.
Naka-reserve lang siya. So, yun sana talaga yung magiging system solution natin for unserved invoices. Kasi, yun, lahat ng mga heart-to-heart calls, hindi nyo muna i-invoice, sales order module lang muna. Kumbaga, malalak na siya sa inventory pero hindi pa siya masusubtract, hindi pa siya ma-deduct sa inventory. Parang mare-reserve lang siya. Physically, pwede nyo rin siyang i-reserve. So maglalabas kami ng guidelines doon on how to implement that. But in the absence of that, talagang ang policy muna natin is within 72 hours or within 3 days, kailangan natin strictly sundan yung policy na hindi natin siya i-extend. Kung bumalik naman kasi ulit si customer or si dealer, pwede naman natin siyang i-re-input, i-retransact. So yun po sana talaga yung policy natin. And I think dinidiscuss natin siya ngayon at length sa inventory management module kasi nga hina-highlight natin na napaka-importante nito. Talagang nagiging cause of variance po itong mga unserved invoices.
Kahit again, dapat naka-reserve lang siya kung kaya ng system.
With regards po kasi sa after 3 days, 'di ba? As per Sir Timothy, sabi niya po is ka-cancel. Question po, dapat po kasi yung cancellation is binababa po sa mga HCS, yung password. Kasi po, is kami po yung nakakakita ng actual kung sino po yung naka-claim, sino po yung hindi pa naka-claim. Diba? So dapat ibinababa po sa HCS yung cancellation.
Ngayon, meron lang kasi tayong policy na meron tayong hierarchy or may approval matrix tayo for cancellations. So, ang wisdom naman doon is we wanna control din naman at ma-ensure na talaga yung cancellations ay valid. So, in terms of that, we ensure na lang natin na mas streamlined nun. So, dapat si cluster head is in close coordination with the happy customer supervisor.
I-add ko lang dun sa cancellation, even for my previous job, I don't allow the people on the ground to do the cancellation. It's a control issue po. Hindi po talaga siya allowed. There needs to be, say for example, what I can advise is, kung may cancellation, lagyan ng specific time kung lagi nasa meeting cluster head. Say for example, magka-cancel, ma'am, let's do the cancellation every 9 o'clock or every 5 o'clock. Lagyan ng time. Oo, schedule.
Ang nangyayari po, once po hindi po siya ma-cancel, tas dumating yung pong auditor, is automatic po sa operator, sa GLP. Kasi hindi po kasi na-claim ni dealer. So i-charge ni operator.
Ang mangyayari naman po dyan, dumating si auditor, di ba? So same day as a 2 minutes point, dapat i-schedule na lang natin with the ops cluster head yung cancellation during the day, and then i-coordinate na lang natin kay audit na for all unserved invoices, kailangan may time frame sila before they consider it dun sa kanilang count. So it's gonna be an improvement on our ways of working na lang po. So salamat po sa pag-bring up, napaka-critical na issue yun, kasi may impact siya sa inventory charging coming from the audit. So i-coordinate namin yan kay audit, and of course ako, I handle the operations cluster head. So pag-uusapan din namin to at length, maganda yung best practice nga na shinare ni Manette. Dapat at every day meron silang time slot na dedicated for all of the invoice cancellation tickets na dapat nilang i-address. So,
it's part of the standardized process dapat.
Thank you.
In regards naman po sa PIN card, so one time po nagmo-monitor po ako sa PIN card. So ako po yung last man sa branch po na maka-out. One night, pagtingin ko sa PIN card, ito yung nangyari. So yung count niya is 25, let's example 25. Kinabukasan, yung daily cycle count niya lumabas, is nagiging 26 or 27. So, bakit po nangyayari ng ganon?
Yes.
So, ito po ay mga system issues, So, i-announce ko rin po na magkakaroon tayo ng malawak na system audit na gagawin sa BMS. So, nung pinesent din po kasi ng ating audit team sa XCOM, yung mga inventory numbers. So, isa sa mga na-highlight na action plans is to do a system audit para ma-resolve itong mga reported issues nga na nagre-revert daw yung balances, although nagre-correct din naman daw. So, ito po ay system issues, So, this will be resolved through the system audit. Tapos, we're also migrating our databases. So, ito medyo on IT na, But, we're migrating our databases to a more efficient na system and platform. So, ang expectation natin is, with that migration, mas magpo-perform po ng maayos yung ating DMS, and dapat ma-avoid natin itong mga reported na mga bugs na nangyayari nga doon sa ating mga PIN card. Although yun po, yung mga nangyaring gano'n na nagre-revert as per investigation, para nagre-correct din naman siya, or na nagiging part din naman siya ng reconciliation work done with our audit team, no, when they're doing the audit count. So na-cover naman din siya dun sa pag-come up with the final inventory number.
As an IT personnel also, because medyo ako sa tech also, I don't think naman na nagmamagic yung system na nag-add at nagmaminus. There was a transaction done at the back end. Hindi yun may multo na nagpa-plus at nagma-minus. Hindi nyo lang nakikita what's happening in the back end. There might be a previous transaction na hindi na-upload during cut-off. Medyo technical yung topic, but it happens in the system. So, halimbawa, nag-cut-off ka ng 12 midnight, may naiwang nakahang. Hindi siya na-feed ng previous day. Mag-feed siya the following day. So, hindi po totoo yung mga akala natin na may magic yung system plus minus. It would never happen. System po yan eh. It's a matter of yung delay ng transaction na naipit somewhere. Nandun po siya sa back-end. So, yun lang po. The system is very good.
Ilang days kaya yun, ma'am?
It depends po sa issue. Kasi sometimes internet issue yan eh. Pag nagka-cut off siya, naputol yung connection mo, merong transaction na naiwan siya sa system, the following day i-feed yun. Kaya kala nyo plus minus. I'm trying to defend also the IT because ganyan ang common sinisisi ng operation eh. Mali naman yung system mo. It's not the case.
15 days before.
Hindi po, nagko-correct yan automatic. Kasi nag-feed po yan. Normally system has a cut-off on a daily basis. So, pagka nagka-problema, cut off today, the following day, makukorek po siya. Nagkataon lang during the audit, baka yung error the previous day, lumabas, pero the following day, makukorek po yun. Okay? So, we only have 5 minutes. Medyo, I'm okay to extend if you guys are okay to extend also so we can finish the topic. Anyways. So, monthly inventory reporting. So, determine the count frequency. Now, I don't know if you were able to establish yung ABC classification of your SKU. There's such a thing as 80-20 classification. It's like this. 80% of your inventory value is like 20% of your SKU. If you have 100 SKU, ang top SKU nyo lang dyan is 20. That contributes, for example, your inventory is 1,000 pesos. Ang inventaryo nung 20%, 20 SKU na yon is 800. So that's the 80-20 rule. Okay? Why do we need that? Because that will determine the count frequency. Yung class A, which is the top 80 or the top 20% SKU or the top 80% inventory value, okay, yung malito, that should be counted weekly. Kung hindi nyo kaya ng weekly, at least every other week. Bakit siya importante? Because that particular SKU drives your sales. Top SKU yan. That drives your sales. Pag naubusan kayo niyan, babagsak ang benta nyo. That drives your inventory value. Pag mataas ang inventory nyo niyan, kasi mali inventory, yung count nyo is 5, for example, ang physical nyo is 4. Okay? Bibili, si dealer, pasok, kailangan ko ng 5 kasi you have 5. Yung stock ninyo, nahilo na paghahanap, nawawala yung isa. So that's why it's very critical to manage the Class A. Class A ang tawag natin dyan. Class A SKU. When you have a very big problem sa inventory nyo, say for example, how many SKUs do you have per dealer?
240
No,
plus.
cool naman, kunti naman pala.
Pero wala pa din yung mga intimate apparel.
Alright. So, 200 lang naman pala. Ang daling bilangin. I use 250,000 SKU. Okay? So, the 200 SKU, napakadali lang siyang bilangin. You can finish that in 1 week. My God. Kala ko ang SKU natin is marami. So, mabilis lang tayo. Identify nyo lang yung Class A. Kung maraming problema yung 200 plus, focus on Class A SKU muna ang i-correct ninyo. Because that contributes to 80% of your sales. Okay? So, ang count ini-schedule during off-peak hours. Ano ang off-peak hours ng bentahan natin? Hapon. So, doon lang kayo magpapacycle count. Huwag kayo magpapacycle count sa umaga. Okay? When you do a retail business, we do the cycle count after store closing. So, pag nag-cycle count kami, hindi natutulog yung mga tao namin. Okay? Yes po.
Currently, naka-restrict yung daily cycle count sa morning. But kami sa head office, we're reviewing, we're rationalizing na baka dapat gawin na lang siya end of day, previous day. Para ma-ensure na bago ka umalis, at least nakapag-cycle count ka na.
Yeah, that's only 200 SKU eh. So, if you go, siguro mga 1 to 2 hours, tapos na nila.
Although ito, select SKUs
lang,
lang.
diba?
So, 10 SKUs lang yung
Oo,
covered
kasi yung
sa
lang. Kasi one cycle lang naman every week ang kailangan. So, 10 SKU. Madali lang yun. Make sure that you count before the closing. You can include that in your closing checklist. You should have an opening checklist. You should have a closing checklist also. Okay? So kanina, diniscuss na natin yung expired and then yung pending invoices. We can skip that. Alright? So again, mine-mention here the counting frequency scheduled during off-peak hours. Use the ABC inventory classification. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa kanina, 80-20. So 80% of your sales is your class A, which is only like 20% of your SKU. That's only 40 SKU, if I will do the calculation. So ibig sabihin, in a span of 1 week, you are going to count only 40 SKU. And they're operating like 7 days a week, right? 6 days a week. So parang ang ika-count mo lang, 6, 7 SKU per day, kung class A lang. So napakabilis lang siya.
Ma'am?
Oh, yes ma'am.
SKU po mga ka-counting sa cycle count. Mas prepare po namin pag umaga. Kasi pag gabi po, is sometimes is mag-overtime sila hanggang 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So yung warehouse is nag-overtime naman.
Ang daming overtime ano. Eh pag umaga po, baka mag-overtime din. Early time in, pareho din.
Mas prepare kami sa umaga kasi before they start the transactions, they get to the cycle count.
It depends po sa policy ninyo. There's no strict rule, ma'am. Wala pong strict rule dyan. They can review it. There's no strict rule.
Continually pa namin inaaral yung better na inventory practices natin. So we're continuing to improve yung daily cycle count, di ba? Kaya nadagdagan siya ng mga SKUs, tapos yung algorithm on ano yung SKUs na magro-rotate on a day-to-day basis ay in-improve din namin. So yung sa timing, so that will continue to revisit. So as mentioned, meron tayong mga industrial engineers ngayon na nag-immerse sa mga branches para aralin nga yung tamang practices.
So in this presentation, I just want to highlight the use a standardized process in counting. This is a common mistake also when you operate a retail business. Katulad din yun is also a retail business. Pag nag-count, you allow the people to do the counting process. Okay? There's a standard. When you count, it should be left to right, top to bottom. Kasi naka-gondola kayo, di ba? So pag nag-count kayo, kapag ang tao nyo, kung saan-saan, nabilang ko na ba ito? Hindi ko alam kung alin nabilang ko eh. And you don't have the time to tag. Kung nasa manufacturing site kayo, makakapag-tag kayo. But when you are in retail, hindi kayo pwede mag-tag. So dapat ang standard, ang pina-implement namin nun, strictly left to right, top to bottom. Hindi po pwedeng dito muna ako. And then dito ako. And then dito ako. Hindi! Malilito yun. Ano na bang na-count ko? Diba? So make sure that you use a standard process in counting. Left to right, top to bottom. Ganun lang po siya kasimple. Pwedeng top to bottom, left to right. Pero that should be followed. Okay? Alright, why are we discussing inventory? Ano kayo? Mga sales kayo. Anong correlation ng inventory? Okay? Inventory management with your profitability. We are discussing inventory management because we wanted to reduce inventory shrinkage. Okay? Excess stock means, doon muna tayo sa shrinkage. Common problem, loss of sales. System has 10, actual wala. Hindi ka ni-replenish, walang auto-replenishment kasi sa system meron. Dumating si dealer, wala kang mabenta. Loss of sales, loss opportunity. Again, lahat ng retail business has the same problem. Iba-iba nga lang ang laki ng problema. Merong konti lang, merong malaki problema. But that's something that you need to correct. Merong nagre-report ang inventaryo ko, 1 billion, pag binilang mo, 100 million lang pala. Diba? pinapatay ka na ng boss mo, bakit ako may 1 billion na inventaryo sa aking sistema? Ang aking pera pala nasa inventaryo lang. Wala naman palang actual. Okay? So, that will have an impact in your sales. Loss of sales ang tawag doon. Excess stocks means tied up capital. Katulad ng sinasabi ni Sir kanina. Sabi natin, baka kulang ang space niya. Baka magdagdag si Sir ng space, magdagdag ng warehouse kasi dumarating yung stock. But, we need to understand first bakit. Baka kasi ang system niya wala nang laman. Kaya yung head office nagpapadala sa inyo ng stock, si Sir naman, na-excite. Marami akong pinapadalang stock. Nag-invest, nagpatayo ng panibagong area. Sayang ang pera.
Talagay ko hindi po.
So yun po. That is correct. Correct po. That's why I am asked to talk about inventory management because
kasi na mag-speculate tayo doon.
correct. Tama po. That's part of the investigation. Okay? Bago tayo kasi may mga ganyan, mga problema dati ng ng warehouse head ko. Ma'am, puno-puno na po ako ng stock padagdag po ng warehouse. Nananaginip ka ba? Hindi tayo magdadagdag ng warehouse. Kausapin natin yung ating salesperson. Dagdagan niyo yung benta. Diba? Hindi tayo magdadagdag ng warehouse. Ayusin natin yung sistema. Okay? So, accurate inventory helps maintain optimal stock. Pati syempre kayo, di ba, nag-auto stock replenishment. So, pag accurate ang inventory nyo, walang variance, hindi kayo nagkakaroon ng overages and shortage. Pareho yan. Both side yan, evil yan. Pagka ang inventory nyo bloated sa system, loss of sales. Pag ang inventory nyo kulang sa system, dadagdagan kayo excessive inventory. So, hindi pa pwedeng sabihin nyo, isa lang i-address nyo, ha? Positive and negative. Both are evil. I call it evil in the operation. Both entails money. The other one, loss of sales. The other one, additional investment. Ganun lang po siya kasimple. Okay? Why is it important? You make the dealers happy. So, i-ano na natin yan. Ito, I'm not sure, kapag halimbawa pumunta yung dealer, wala pala kayong stock, you do emergency replenishment?
Yes.
Alright.
We have inter-branch transfer.
Oo, gastos yun. Sino gumagastos? Oh, di ba? Ayan ang, when I was in Philip Morris, binanggit ko na yung pangalan ng kumpanya, common problem namin yan. M is here, di ba? Tao ko yan si M dati. Nag-handle yan ng stock transfer. Sakit sa ulo yan. Nagkakagulo kami dyan. Tatawagin ako, ma'am, kailangan ko ng truck kasi si ganitong branch, wala na pong Philip Morris, wala nang Marlboro. Nakakapag-init din ng ulo. Which is, naiintindihan ko naman yung sales personnel kasi kailangan nilang bumenta. Pero on the supply chain side, papaanakin ka ng truck kasi kailangan nila yung stock. Ang sagot ko, bata lang po ang kaya kong i-anak. Hindi ko po kaya umanak ng bata, ng yosi at saka ng truck. Kasi normal yan eh. I would understand, you will push for the sales. Ang nasa supply chain naman, papahirapan yan. Papaanakin yan ng stock, papaanakin ng truck. Diba? Tama ba? Lahat yan, pag-cut off, Russian. At saka Argentina. Urgent and rush. Yan. Mga common terminology siya sa operations. Okay? Alright. So, inventory accuracy, when it is accurate, it boosts profitability, lowering your cost, increasing your sales opportunity, and enhancing operational efficiency. Operational efficiency means, yung tao ninyo hindi pa ikot-ikot paghahanap ng stock. Diba? Mai-streamline ang process kung accurate ang inventory, maayos yung pagkakasalan-salan ng stock sa gondola, ang warehouse ninyo maayos din. Hindi nyo kailangan magdagdag ng maraming tao. Magiging lean ang inyong organization. Okay? So, excellent store operation and inventory management is as important, nakalagay ang laki, no? Is as important as your sales target. So, let's be serious, think long and hard, study very well, and be very, very, very careful when dealing with inventory management. Again, it is as important as your sales target. Okay? So, ito, just for you to visualize kung anong effect. Pag nawalan ka ng isang product na ganyan, ang iyong SF for multiple item sold ng ganyang product, wipe out yun. As in, wipe out yun. Minsan hindi natin pinapansin, isa lang ang nawala. Pero imaginein mo, yung benta mo palang 10, wala ka ng SF doon. As in, wala ka ng SF. Okay? So, sabi nila, never ever give up. Kaya nating i-correct ang inventory management. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Manat Domingo po, also known as Peanuts.
Madam Peanut.
Madam Peanut. And of course, Team Cruz for also one of our resource speakers for this morning. Marami po ba tayong learning this morning? Very engaging topic, right? I'm sure ang dami pa pong mga katanungan. Ang gagawin na po natin is isulat lang natin yung if you have any additional